spent my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
Hoo! Pow! Monday. Here we are again, y'all. Coming to you live from Appalachia. This is T with Mountain Readiness. Thanks for joining me. I see some eyeballs up there in the corner. If you have not already, give us a like, share, subscribe, show us some love. Make the algorithm gods happy and shine bountifully upon us from above, because we always need it, especially with videos like our intro. Of course, there's our intro video again. There's just a little bitty smidgen of pew-pew stuff in there. Our man, the Russ of Oz behind the screen, he edited that for us a little bit, so maybe we won't get kicked off of YouTube for violating firearm policies. So, but that's all right. That's all right. We don't care. We're not here for them. We're here for you. And I see everybody over there, Swordsman 007, Burke Screens. Guys, thank you for joining me tonight. It's going to be a great show. What all do we have on the, of course, this episode is brought to you by Soil Saviors. Soil Saviors. Look, growing a garden, maybe you're doing all the things, but remember, nutrients dense vegetables need nutrient dense soil. That's a fact, y'all. You want that healthy food, you got to have healthy soil. Check out Soil Saviors, scan that QR code, go to their website, get your soil kits. And there's also the Cell Saviors. If Russ wants to throw it up there, that is to make you healthy. That fulvic humic acid, all those awesome things, gut health, gut biome, all the stuff that's lacking in our food, you can get with our people here over at Cell Saviors and Soil Saviors. And of course, again, thank you, the Russ of Oz, Broken Spokes Productions, behind the scenes, pulling levers, pushing the buttons, saving me time and keeping me from screwing stuff up. Mark that off the list. I got my notes, y'all. I got my notes. Mountain Readiness Spring Expo. A bunch of y'all jumped and grabbed you some tickets. Took advantage of those savings. If you haven't, there's still savings. They're not as good as they were last week. You missed that boat. But you know what? That's okay. There's still time. You can still save some money. What is this saying? Can't post comments to some destinations, it says on my screen over there in the comments. Who knows? It's probably because we played that intro clip again with Tactical Rifleman. They're just messing with me. That's all it is. So Sandra Davis, Ramon, howdy guys, howdy. Yep, Swordsman 007, he got his ticket. Yes, you did. It's going to be a great event. We've got tons of people that I haven't added to the website yet. We've got multiple bands. We've got some great giveaways. We've got some surprises. It's going to be a great time. And remember also, Mountain Readiness West. We are heading to Montana out there with Mr. Joe Dolio, the July 24th through the 26th. In fact, our guest tonight will be joining us out there to do some instructing, some new classes, some stuff that we haven't done before. It's going to be great. Remember, guys, 80 acres. You're talking about 80 acres, veteran-owned lodge, 1 hour from Glacier National Park. That's a vacation. We're going to have a vacation. That's what we're doing out there. Go fellowship with like-minded individuals, train, get your training on, and enjoy the beauty of Montana. K-Love, what's going on? K-Love is in the house. Great to see you in here as well. Johnny, howdy. Howdy to you too. Mrs. Teresa is in the comments there. Love you. So we got Mountain Readiness Rest. Remember also October the 27th through the 31st of this year, the Sovereign Health Summit. That's right. Health is important. Make sure to check that out. Go to sovereignhealthsummit.com. My partner, Billy Bond, and I teamed up. We're bringing all the biggest names in alternative and circadian health. We're talking about Barbara O'Neill, Dr. Tenpenny, Doc Lee Merritt, Jonathan Otto, AJ Richards. I mean, we've stacked the house full of the best healers in the world. And we're bringing them all right there for 5 consecutive days. It's going to be awesome. And we got Patrick Seven in the house and my brother Matthew King. What's going on, bro? Hey, Patrick, it actually says Patrick Seven. Did you get your name back on YouTube? They finally released that. I actually know who you are now. But Matt King, love you, brother. We need to catch up too. Keep on purchasing all those cool items you keep sending me pictures of. It's okay. It's not a problem. It's a solution to the problem. Doesn't matter what your wife says. It's not a problem. Keep buying those things. Man, I want to vent for just a couple minutes. I have been warned. I've been warned many times over by all of these famous, awesome book writers that you don't read the comments. You don't read the comments. You don't read what people say about your books and all that stuff. But I'm stubborn. And for some reason, people comment and I'm like, I just want to see what they say. You know, I see what they said. So I made a video. I made a video about training. And I was, sweating it on my 1 mile around the 40 acres here in the hills. And I just made a video about, hey, you know what? Training is good. You should be in the best shape that you possibly can be. I'm not saying you should be able to run a super marathon. I mean, if you can, you can. But you need to be in a spot that you can take care of yourself and your family. And I posted this video about how, hey, here's some good reasons. Here's some good reasons that you should stay in shape. One of those reasons is that there is all kinds of undocumented people in this world, in this country, who do not you. In fact, they hate you. And that's a good reason. And so, I don't get a bunch of views on these things, guys, but it still blows my mind, people's mentality. And I get this comment. This guy says, and this guy, for a lack of a better term, is a prepper. All right. Seems like he had his stuff together pretty good by some of these videos he posted. But he says, the vast majority of the people you are spreading fear about aren't training. They're working crappy minimum wage jobs to try and feed their families and build a better life. It's this kind of rhetoric that makes all preppers look like racist, paranoid lunatics. On behalf of the same prepper community, please stop it. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? Like, I don't mean to get on a soapbox here, guys, but I mean, let's look at it like this. Like, for one, what world are you living in? Are you paying attention to what's going on in the world right now today? Look, guys, I'm not talking about, Juan, who just got the job paying cash under the table at the orchard. Okay. I'm not talking about that guy. Not that you should be in this country illegally at all. You shouldn't. I can't just walk and stroll into other countries and, just sneak in and get a check or work under the cuff or whatever you may have it. But at the same time, I'm not talking about that guy. I don't care that you got a job up on the hill trimming Christmas trees. All right. I don't care. I'm talking about terrorists. That's what I'm talking about. We've got friends in the military. We got friends in the military who were stationed over in Germany and UK, all these areas, who actually transferred to crummier areas because it was so bad with the Muslim population that they couldn't even walk down the street. They couldn't even walk down the street and feel safe. That's who I'm talking about. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I think that we all need to be keeping our head on a swivel and training and preparing. I read up some statistics real quick here and I pulled them offline, and it says in the past 10 years, the Muslim population has went from 3.5 to 4.5 million in just the U.S. All right. Now, that's not including that's just numbers of the census, not those undocumented ones. We're not counting those. That's more like what they're saying, 6 to 8 million just in the U.S. in the past 10 years. Worldwide population, 1.7 billion to over 2 billion in the last 10 years. The world's population grew by about 10% in that course of time. The Muslim population grew to 25% global population. 2.5 times by number is what they grew. That's the people I'm talking about. That's the type of world that we're going to be living in here. So I'll tell you, there is things coming to the United States. It's going to happen. This can, who cares about the Mexico border? Let's talk about that Canadian border. Let's talk about the stuff that come across that line. Those type of people. What's going to happen as time goes on? But I'm spreading fear. It's fear mongers like myself, telling people that they should be able to take care of themselves. We're talking about a religion that teaches you, if I'm not Muslim, then you unalive me. I die. You take me out. We're talking about a religion that you're taught to breed as much as you possibly can, consensual or non-consensual. That's right, rape. It's completely fine. That religion is all about it. I don't want to hear about this religion about how I should be understanding of these type of people at all. I don't have to be understanding. The whole turn the other cheek term. I don't want to hear that. That was for my brother. And my brother doesn't want me to die. All right. So that turn the other cheek. Christ drove the money lenders out of the temple with a whip, with a cat o' nine tails. I don't want to hear about this pansy Christ. All right. That everybody talks about. Oh, turn the other cheek. That wasn't Christ. Go ahead and read the description of Christ by Pontius Pilate. See what he says about Christ. He wasn't some vegan, skinny little pansy, fairy-looking dude. No, he was he was a carpenter. You didn't get a DeWalt drill back then. You was drilling them holes by hand. It was all done by hand, folks. So I don't want to hear about how I should be understanding and not spread fear. All right. I was talking about these type of people right here, this type of garbage that's going on in the world. And don't even get me started on the new governor of New York, right? What a kick to the teeth to every American that lived through that. What a smack in the face to all of our men and women that served for that kind of garbage. Y'all seen it. The picture, it says, they forgot. There ain't no joke. That is no joke. What a joke. And you, sir, hit me up. I commented, hit me up with your rebuttal, because you, quite frankly, are a moron. You are an idiot. You are the problem. So that's my soapbox for today. That is all I got to say. But all y'all folks, you need to be training. And this is why. Because these people, they are hard. They are tougher than you. They lived without electricity and good, clean water. They have fought for thousands of years over there amongst themselves. That is their life. All right. You need to be just as tough. So get out there and train. And speaking of training, and I seen that, yes, SHTF Hunter. And of course, Patrick Seven knows about these people all too much, living there in communist Michigan. That place is just completely infested with these Muslims. But yeah, probably going to get kicked on this YouTube just because I probably took it a little bit too far. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, we can't post comments. All right. I was reading some of Russ's stuff on the other side, on the other private chat. But training, guys. Let's talk about training. Tonight's guest is Michael Caughran. And I did say that, and I did have this whole soapbox of the Muslim thing. He's Irish. He's Irish. He's got red hair. He's Irish. But Michael, U.S. Air Force SERE instructor. And in fact, if I've read this correctly, he was the instructor of the instructors. He was the guy that was teaching the instructors. Did all kinds of hardcore stuff. He has a whole list. I can't even read all the stuff that Michael's done here for his training. Like, I'd have to kill an entire rainforest just to have enough paper to print all this stuff off for his resume. But Michael owns the ARC, which is American Reconstruction Concepts, a training facility out in Spokane, Washington. Veteran owned, veteran run. He's going to be a part of our Mountain Readiness West out there with Joe Dolio, going to be doing some awesome teaching, new classes. Let's bring Michael out and get this party started. Michael, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, T. It's a true honor to be here. Thank you, sir.
All right. Sorry I got off. I just lost it there a little bit. Just kind of got a little sideways. People, what's your thought on that before we even get in this? What is your thought? How is there still people in the world like this with what's going on? How?
Well, denial is not just a river in Egypt.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy to me that our country has been at war with the kind of people that you're talking about for decades, and they've waged brutal warfare on Christendom for centuries. And I think it's the right thing to do to call it as it is. If you can't call a spade, then what are we doing here in America? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I just saw one of our friends, Ben Wigger. He posted on Facebook something that I had not heard of until today that happened in Raleigh right here. Just backs up that whole training thing. But let's pull this up. It says, let's see here. This was in the news there in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yesterday, in Raleigh, North Carolina, a female teacher was in her own home at 6:30 a.m. when she found an intruder inside. She called 911, was on the phone while the man assaulted her, beating her so badly that she died shortly after being taken to the hospital. Police caught the intruder nearby. He and the victim they did not know each other. It was just a random burglary, and the offender has been previously arrested over 20 times before, including a recent burglary arrest. Look here, y'all, take your pick. I don't even know where this guy gets this. Oh, you can't, you're just spreading fear. This woman, 6:30 a.m. in her bed, is woke up by an intruder and is beat to death in her home. But let's not preach fear. Let's not preach fear.
Well,
I don't know.
A lot of good points there. Honestly, that lady right there is part of the reason why we are in business, why we do what we do and wake up every day and try to translate the survival skills and the self-defense skills that we do. Because almost to a man, like every personal citizen out there, the responsible armed citizens, those that even aren't responsibly armed, they're just citizens. In the eyes of the enemy, those who prey on sheep, they are easy targets. Almost every one of them, whether they survived an incident, they'll actually report back that they never believed that would have happened to them. I'm sure that lady did not surmise the evening that she went to bed that there may have been an intruder the next morning. But the plain and simple truth is that we don't get to pick the time or the location. The moment's going to choose us. And that's really why we want to help people to be more prepared, honestly. So that is a testament.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about first. Tell me about ARC, American Reconstruction Concepts. Where'd the name come? Give us let's start with your background as well. You're SERE instructor. Let's talk about, originally, who was Michael? Who was Michael
Absolutely.
Back in the day?
Yeah. So kind of a interesting background story from a lot of folks. I grew up as a prepper in the middle of nowhere, Idaho, and I thought everybody was just like me. So it wasn't until I actually grew up that I found out that, there's not too many people actually that grew up in on a gun range next to thousands of wooded acres where they can go off and play on ATVs and do survival ops and whatever they want to do. I tell you, my dad, he was an awesome guy. I mean, we had a bunker. We had like stored food for the entire family for 20 years. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous what we had. It was pretty awesome. We had 3 different gun ranges. We had everything from 22 to 50 BMG, and we shot everything from point blank out to a mile. Like, my dad was in it to win it, and he was just there to protect his family. He wanted them to have the highest chance of surviving whatever came down. And we were always following, the reports of chaos erupting around the world. And I don't know if we ever really expected like a worldwide virus to attack, but we were prepared for pretty nearly everything. And so I never really, anticipated living the life that I do now, but I was kind of built for joining the SERE guys there in the Air Force. So SERE specialist is someone who helps people with the 3-week school where they look at the survival, the evasion, resistance, and escape, right? So I actually didn't even know that it was within driving distance of where I grew up. It's not like a popularized school that everybody knew about unless you were in the military, that the Air Force had their survival school out near Fairchild. So it was very interesting. I had no idea that was a thing, but I was always growing up, going to training classes, getting anything and everything that I could. We practiced self-defense since I was 5. We did all the stuff and things, watched the Magpul Dynamics videos whenever they came out, did a bunch of practice at home, got into competition shooting. It was a crazy, awesome life. And then basically I looked at going into the Marines, but the Marine recruiter actually wasn't there on the day when I went to the recruiter's office. And the Army guy was snarky. I didn't really appreciate him.
Right.
Personal experience. But the Air Force guy, whenever he talked with me, he was like, yeah, man, there's actually 6 different aspects of special operations within the Air Force community. And I was like, there what? Like, I've heard of pararescue, but what else you guys got, So he broke it down to me, explained all the different occupations and roles, and then he told me about the SERE specialist, where you could actually join as enlisted. And at this point in time, I'm actually 24. I did some construction and was a handyman for a few years, and always getting out in the woods and doing different things. But by the time I actually came around to it and discovered that what the SERE specialist does and all that, it was just like, wow, I had no idea you could actually sign up to be trained as an instructor. It's actually the only branch that does that. The other military branches, you have to wait for several years and then try to get transferred over to be a SERE instructor. But the Air Force recruits right out.
Nice. Yeah. So military, how long did you do that then with the military, with the Air Force?
Did 4 years, 20 to 24.
And then when did your, American Reconstruction Concepts, where does the name come from? What's the meaning behind it? And when did that come to fruition?
Yeah. Well, I wanted something that was very patriotic, and having American in your title definitely helps with that.
That helps.
Yes. So I wanted everybody to know where we stood. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, we stand for the principles that this country is built on. And that's really what we wanted to promote was the ability for everybody to be their own first responder, to have those skills to be able to stand in the gap and protect themselves and have better likelihood of survival. So anyway, American Reconstruction Concepts, though, is kind of hails back to a time where it was, now this is under debate in the South, right? But there is one thing that was very prevalent during the Reconstruction era, and that was that each man has the same rights and that everybody's created equal, right? And so that's kind of a foundational view of ourselves, that we believe everybody's created equal as humans, and that each person has their own right to survival and to self-defense. Also, there's a couple of different play-ons that Ark happened to be the craft that saved humanity in the flood. Also, it's the turning point between two nodes where there's like an Ark can transfer energy or an idea. And since we're a training company, we just thought that fit well enough.
Very cool. I love it. I love it. Yeah, the Ark. Yeah, the Ark saved the world. I like it. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I saw when I was looking through your website, I saw that you offer all kinds of different like courses but it almost looked like tailored courses, like you pick your adventure type deal. I mean, how does that work? What can people find there on your website? And guys, if you have a question for Michael, hashtag ARC, hashtag ARC, would be ARC. Yep. And throw your comments up there if you have any questions for them. And then the QR code, of course, scan, that will take you to the website. You can check out all that stuff. Very good website, by the way. I was impressed.
Thank you. I'll compliment the website editor.
Right. Yeah. Tell them they did a great job. But so what can you get there? I mean, you guys, you're based out of Spokane, Washington.
Yes, sir.
And it looks like you have like a pretty, lavish training area.
Yes.
Like, I mean, how many acres is your facility there?
It's roughly 80, but then we've got extended area that we can play on for another 300-ish, so there's quite a lot of area.
Wow.
So Serenity Houses is where we run our Gray Man Academy, and that's really the flagship course right now. Essentially, we're translating real capability and confidence to people who are traveling the world internationally, or even domestically to dangerous areas. So it's kind of a crash course of the military SERE course, but it's specifically catered for civilians. So there wasn't like defensive gunfighting in the military SERE school because that just wasn't part of that curriculum, if that makes sense. And then we cover hostage prevention, a bunch of escape techniques, and there's a lot of stuff there that is classified in the military. Of course, we can't get into that, but the upside to the hostage prevention that we train in is actually, it's kind of an upgrade. There's so many more tools and things that are available to people on the civilian side of things on that spectrum, rather than just what the military had to use. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually a lot more open. So, and then we also tie in empty hand self-combative system, which is from the Navy SEALs. And that's basically how to be deadly with your bare hands, which I think is something that everybody should learn because like we were just talking about, you never can choose the time and place. You can just only choose if you're ready for it.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Empty hand combatives. Yeah. You need to be able to fight somebody off, or at least get to the point that you can get to that blade and or firearm, because how quickly these things happen. I've had to draw twice in my lifetime, and it was nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. You always have these, the movies. The movies give you these false sense of how it's going to go down. It's nothing like that.
It wasn't like a 5-minute battle with Bruce Willis or something?
Yes, it's nothing like that. In fact, half of it was a blur, and you just and then the next thing you know, that's it. Yeah. So the gray man, you're going through all these things. So anyone can sign up for this. How long is that course?
It's a 3-day training program. It comes with 4-night stay. So basically, this is the one that we really tricked out. So all the accommodations are already there. We have a shuttle from the airport. The food is catered there. You have lodging integrated, the ammo supplied. Right now, and I wouldn't tell this to everybody, but we're actually giving a handgun together with the training program. So currently, you can get a handgun as well as all the ammo covered. There's a bunch of things that go with it, but essentially what it is it's a transformation process. So there's not many people in the community or in the industry that guarantee transformation. That's one of the ways that we really stand out, is that we guarantee that people are going to be converted or transitioned into one of the top, most elite trained civilians in those particular aspects. So we cover situational awareness. The Gray Man philosophy itself is actually something that is really helpful for people everywhere they go, but especially when you're traveling to dangerous areas, you not want to stand out, right? It's kind of like the whack-a-mole.
Like Michigan, like traveling through Charlotte, Michigan, right? Patrick 7.
Yeah,
we always give Patrick a bunch of crap about Michigan, but that's all right.
We get a lot of calls from Detroit, New York, a bunch of places in California, because you can imagine the places that are most restrictive in their gun laws are usually the worst crime areas as well. But
absolutely,
Yeah. So the gray man philosophy is really kind of a different aspect too, because we want to train people to be capable, but we don't want them to look like they're battle worn soldier. They don't, but they also shouldn't look like an easy target, right? There's a balance, and in the balance, you want to have confirmed quiet capability, and that's really what we breed there at the Gray Man Academy. That's what the experience is all about.
Very cool. A couple of the we've got Baltimore, DC. Yeah, no doubt. Atlanta. I actually lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana, right between Chicago and Detroit. Lived in Detroit. Lived in Chicago. Used to travel all the through there, all the big cities, all Jersey. Yeah, no, it's it's funny you should say that. Yeah, it's making sure that you don't look like an easy target. You don't want to be that hardened, straight killer, but the easy target is the worst thing that you could possibly do, especially in the city. Walking around looking like a tourist is a bad thing to do.
Yeah. And so, quite honestly, the majority of the people that go through that particular program are usually internationally traveling businessmen, entrepreneurs, CEOs, C-suite executives. They have to travel to those out of the way countries where they know that there's going to be upheaval, there's going to be chaos. It's not always the vacation spots of the world, and so they have to try to maintain a lower profile but still have that capability. So we go over digital security, like I said, ways to be able to defend yourself without weapons, and then the hostage prevention aspect is another thing that's just that nobody really does it that way. What are the real dangers to being kidnapped? And it's not just kids on the street; it's business people that look like they have money. Even just being American, almost any third world country, if they recognize people are Americans, and that could just be seeing them on the street, and they're like, oh yeah, that guy's an American. Just by the way that he's, standing a little bit off center, he's not equally balanced on his feet like most Europeans are. He's kind of sitting there like a cowboy. It's like
slouching.
Yeah.
A little bit of slouching. No, that's we actually have I'm gonna call her out. Okay, Love in the house. She probably a year and a half ago, she traveled all over the place, and we're so proud of her. That's why I always call her out. But she has done all kinds of training, and I will say, man, you want to talk about 180 degrees. She made the switch. She made the difference, and now she can hold her own. Proud of you, K-Love. Proud of you.
That's awesome.
Let's see what we've got here. So, Trip, let's see, show. That guy's clearly Miss Gao. He's talking about the guy on, yes, that dude's an idiot. And wish he was in the comments now. But I don't know. I don't know why people think, I don't know how you can look at this world, or maybe you've just been so sheltered. Like, I don't know. I grew up with no electricity, no running water, in the sticks for the first 15 years, cut off from the world. And I still knew the world was screwed up.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Let's see here. What's Burke Spring? Let's see. Please speak to how the females can stay safe while running at the track. Running with a hand cannon is challenging. It is. I mean, running, and I'll say it. I carry a sticky holster. There, I said it. I don't care. I don't care, guys. But I can run pretty decent with that sticky holster. I will tell you that right now. What's your advice on this?
Absolutely. So there's a number of different things. Try to put yourself in the eyes of a predator, right? A wolf or a bully is not going to look at a hard target and think that that's going to be an easy day and go after it. They're always going to look at someone like a vulnerable woman, right? And if they can see that she's not carrying anything, then that might be inviting for them to try to attack or use whatever they want to do. But some different things. Think about from their standpoint, especially in some neighborhoods. If you have a big, bold, attack-looking type dog, that's a huge deterrent. Obviously, not everybody wants to run with a dog or even has a dog. So what else can you do? There's, first of all, it's in your situational awareness. It's in the way that you present yourself. So that's number one. First and foremost, whenever somebody's scoping you out, do you appear as if you're distracted, or if you're not confident, or if you're confused, you're scared, right? All of those things, just like a shark smelling blood, they're going to be like, this is an easy day, right? So you cannot give away any of those kind of indicators that you would be scared or disoriented or anything. You always need to be confident, aware, and if somebody does pose a threat, some of the things that you could do besides empty hand combatives, which is something nobody can take away from you, right? Is you could have some pepper spray, you could have a taser, you could have some kind of an object that is blunt force. Some people go with like the different alarms, like the rape alarm or whatever that's called. I'm not a huge fan of deterrence. I really think that you should have some real capabilities to be able to stop people. And even though I recommend tasers and pepper spray for some people, it's not 100% reliable. There are some dudes that it does not affect to the level or the degree that you really want it to. So the in terms of like real defense, the end all be all is first, it starts with the mindset, right? You can't do anything without that. You have to be able to cross that threshold and understand that if it comes down to you versus them, that you're willing to go there and make sure it's them, right? So, but besides that, you need to know the specific things that are going to work 100% of the time. Guys, it doesn't matter how tough the dude is or how jacked up he is on drugs or if he's a demoniac. It doesn't matter if your thumb inserts inside the eye socket, as I told my wife not so romantically on our honeymoon. By the way, guys, if you're thinking about going on a honeymoon, don't do what I did, right? Don't go into the gruesome self-defense details like the night after. It wasn't the night, the night after, like we're going on international travels on our honeymoon. I'm like, baby, you got to know this stuff, right? So it's like, yeah, there's nobody that's going to be able to overcome a thumb in the eye. That thumb's going to win every time. There's so many things that you could get into, but a good swift kick to the gonads is always a great starting
Yes.
point. Elbow to the trachea.
Throat, good old throat punch.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just got to throat punch somebody.
Big facts, but you got to be willing to do that, right? So it starts with the mentality, and then everything else that you add on from there is bonus. But at the end, you are the weapon, so you have to realize that, and you have to walk with that kind of confidence, and it should be backed up with real capability. So I think there's a lot of things
Amen
you can
to
do,
that.
but at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to.
I'm just going to say it, y'all. Brass knuckles. This is a fact. This is a fact, right? Yeah, you're not supposed to have them. But I will tell you this, back in my days as a bartender and a bouncer, there ain't nothing that gets somebody in check more than knucks to the rib cage. Facts, y'all, facts. You want to walk somebody to the door, and you don't have to have a whole lot of swing behind that punch. You really don't when it's talking about brass knuckles. So, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying you should because they're illegal unless they're paperweights, but they work very well. That's a fact. So, Burke Spring, thank you so much for your response. Michael asked a male friend to come to do security duty, which is just his presence, so the extra advice, priceless. Thank you. Brass knuckles, Burke Spring. Just there you go. I'm not a big pepper spray fan. Are you? There's something about getting it in my own eye. It's happened, and I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's definitely not my first recommendation. I know some ladies that's all they'll use, and I think it's better than nothing. But no, at the end of the day, that's definitely not my first recommend at all. Because it can breed us kind of false confidence, because you think that it's going to work 100% of the time. But like you say, you got backsplash issues. It doesn't always work on the most determined guys.
That's it. And of course, whatever you choose, just like the Russavaz said over the private comments, make sure you practice with it. Yes. So if you're going to carry said form of defense, make sure that you practice with that said form of defense, whether it be a pistola or whatever it is. We had a couple questions in here in the comments. Patrick 7, he says, Ark, in a lot of the subjects we've talked about, by no means expert. I have currently been learning how to bypass pick locks. Was curious suggestions on any literature.
Yeah, Tactical Lockpicking by Pat Watson is a really good one. He's actually coming at it from an EMS standpoint, right? So he's thinking about, as law enforcement, how can he bypass different obstacles to be able to affect outcomes in emergencies, situations. But it works in a multitude of different areas. And we actually use some of his philosophy on how to basically, one of the things that he does masterfully well in that work is not only does he have specific techniques like these shims work in those locks and these locks are susceptible to this kind of attack vector, but more holistically, this is one thing that a lot of people don't focus on whenever it comes to like escape tactics, as he takes a step back and he looks around, he stops, observes, and tries to act smartly. And he looks at the whole picture and he says, okay, so I've got this venue over here. There's a door that's got a deadbolt that I'm not so sure about. And then there's a second story window up there that's probably not locked, but we haven't checked it yet. And then around the other door, there's just a simple key lock that I know I can get in about 30 to 60 seconds. So he makes that decision after doing a quick survey. And he's like, okay, cool. Attack vector 1 over here. I'm going to spend 5 minutes. Attack vector 2, if that fails. And then third choice, after 12 minutes, I'm going up on the roof. I'm going to check that window. Whereas most people will spend 2 hours on that stinking door and nobody's checked the window yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's a key thing.
That's it.
Picture,
It is. It is. The Mr. Obvious thing. That's what we're talking about. I remember out on the fire department, a couple guys, car accident, extrication. They come running out with a Halligan bar. They're cramming it in the door there, and the chief walks over. He just pulls up on the handle. The door just pops right open. Yep. And it's always those obvious things that you overlook. And it's human nature. It's human nature. It could be applied to anything. I remember, I was a trade mechanic for years and years, over 20 years as a heavy truck and trailer mechanic. And it was always, you always had the guy working in the shop that, it was like, oh yeah, I hooked up, I did, troubleshooted Dynex multiplexing system, and we checked this and we checked this, and 18 hours into it, and it's a plug that's been pulled apart. It's just a simple, basic, a bad connection on the battery. Hey, did you check that battery connection? Oh man, 18 hours I spent working on this, and it was a bad connection on the battery. So, those obvious things. Our friend Tom Bryce. Tom, are you going to be coming to Montana? I think you said you did. I hope you can. But you said, when is your book coming out, Michael? I guess you need to write a book now if you haven't already.
Thanks, Tom. It's on my many lists of things to do, but books don't just populate anymore. I guess if I wanted to write it with AI, I guess we could crank out some trash real fast, but we're not about that. So
right.
I'll tell you what we are doing. We actually started a school community not too long ago. So school's like a private social media platform. So there's a private community. If you look up School Grayman Academy, we're putting out content almost daily, and in 1 to 2 months, we'll be putting out some specific escape techniques and things that are for the community members, so they can have like hands-on guidance and training for some of the stuff that we're doing.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm looking forward to us getting together in Montana too. That is an awesome group of guys. You're going to fit right in there. You're going to love the group that we have collected. And of course, Joe Dolio with Tactical Wisdom. Awesome dude, all veteran owned out there of that lodge as well. Awesome. We've got Rally Point too. They do a whole lot of surreptitious entry stuff and all that fun lock picking stuff. So you guys are going to get along very well. We're going to have a great time out there. And for all y'all out there in the comments, if you haven't signed up for Montana, you need to make that happen. I mean, it's July in Montana. It's prime season. Maybe we'll get like 6 to 10 inches of snow. Maybe that's it though. Not 4 feet. It's perfect weather. It's going to be out there. So let's see here. Matt said, been to Jersey, try. Yeah, you do. You would stick out in Jersey. I would as well. Jersey. We are not the same as Jersey folks. What else we got here? Patrick 7 says, I've had tools stolen from my fleet work trucks. Just, had some gangster try to sell us our own tools at a gas station at the end of the day.
Nice.
That's awesome. I'm in Richmond, Indiana. I had the same thing happen. Richmond, Indiana. I was running a construction, 3 crews at that time for that company. And we had our siding, brake, and ladders and everything up on the trucks, ladder racks. come out, and one of my guys said the walk board was gone. I'm like, are you serious? And they did. They chopped. We had a chain through it even. They cut it, took off with the walk board. A week later, we're on a job site doing siding, and this old crackhead, this Mexican American, comes rolling up and tries to sell us our walk board. We beat that dude within an inch of his life. We just beat him stupid, took our walk board back, told him to leave, or, we'd call the cops. But yeah, that was awesome. Same deal. It's amazing. These people are amazing, man. I love that, though. That was an awesome story.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else? Patrick, I find myself either Flint. Man, you couldn't catch me dead in Flint. Not a chance. Flint, Michigan is a hellhole. You're a better man than I. Roll of quarters. There we go. In the hand. Offers a good solid hit. It does. It does. I still like brass knuckles better. Our friend over at Tactical Rifleman. You heard of Tactical Rifleman?
Oh, yeah. I watched the stuff.
Yeah. So Carl Erickson, he comes to our events. Carl and Sue and all those awesome dudes. And Carl had a great deal that he did. He said, you can't carry all your weapons on the plane. So in the back of the seats, he's pulling out the pamphlets. And he starts tightly rolling them and just keeps rolling them on top of each other, rolling them on top of each other. He takes that thing and does a video, and he's snapping bricks in half with that thing.
That's awesome.
And he's like, just kept rolling, kept twisting it tighter, put another one in it, twisted up, and he just kept working it the whole time. And he made himself a baton right out of those little cheap pamphlets. I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and not only do you want to be able to pass different tools, pass security for defense, but also escape. If you're going through different kinds of border crossings and security checkpoints, if you have any kind of tools loaded on your uniform or outfit, you do not want them to know or think of you as an escape artist. So that's another part of the whole trade where you need to be able to hide things on your person, So
absolutely. Yeah, you need to do that. Matt asked, he said, Ark, what is your EDC? What is the everyday carry that Michael packs around?
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you should mention that because I just did a post on this on our school community. So this month's challenge is showcase your EDC. So I have the light taken off.
Keep that down. Keep that down. Don't bring it into frame. We're live. We can talk about it though.
Okay. It's like right here. I figured I'd show it. But.
And we're shut down. No, we're still good. Yeah, it's the AI may catch us, but we'll see. We'll see if AI is pretty good. Yeah, on the lives, just so everybody knows, on lives, that's how poor Carl Erickson has gotten flagged so many times. Actually, if you've seen my intro video, that little bitty short segment where that's Emory and Tactical Rifleman, they were doing a class at Mountain Readiness, and YouTube hit me and said that I violated their firearm policy because I allowed that on. I was like, it's pre-recorded. It's a freaking video. Like,
they must not like you.
No. Well, whenever you associate with all these yahoos like Angry American and Pete and Carl and all those guys, you're gonna get some flag. But anyway, what are you carrying?
But yeah, in a nutshell, I actually carry a full frame Glock 19 with extended mag as a backup and a sidecar. I have a Holliston 509 on top, so I got my red dot, and then I'm running a TLR 7A Streamlight under that, and then I also carry. Depending on what the situation is, I'll have some kind of a large folding knife, usually from Cold Steel, and then some kind of a flashlight, maybe like an O-light or something like that. By the way, this one's branded. Cool.
Ark's got his branded. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, brand whatever you can.
Yeah. Different things. But then also medical equipment. So I don't always have it on my person, but I'll have it in like a little bag. So I'll have like a blowout kit. Not just for myself, but in case, even just like vehicle accidents. I've run into so many vehicle incidents that having medical kit is really, really helpful. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be able to patch those holes up, not just make them. That is a thing. Fallon Hughes, what is going on, Fallon? Glad you could join us. This is our beekeeper. She does all of our bee classes. We get it in everything, man, at Mountain Readiness. We're teaching, beekeeping and hives and make sourdough. Where else can you learn how to take care of bees, make sourdough bread, kombucha, and how to kill a man 30 different ways, all at the same spot? That's all I'm saying.
Our vibe, man.
that's how we work.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
My wife to your event too, because she's gonna love that, and she does all the things, makes the bucha and the sourdough.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yes, once it starts, it never stops. So that's cool. That's cool. What Caleb? You know what? I'm gonna bring you a pair. I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna hook you up with some paperweight for your desk next time I see you. K-Love, I've got you covered here. Art, do you travel for private training?
So we used to quite a lot. Last year we were gone like most of the year, actually. So yes, we do travel, and we have traveled. Primarily now, I'm trying to push the marketing to the degree where everything runs out of our local operation there, because we get full access at resort. So we can do complete in-house, all catered training and give guys a guarantee that they are absolutely going to love the training and walk away with newfound skills and techniques, gun, ammo, you name it, the whole nine at the Gray Man Academy. So that's really where so yes, and it depends.
Right. It depends.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, we've got West coming up in July. You're going to be there. We've talked about a few classes that you may be teaching there. Let's talk about those four, what those will look like for all the people that are going to show up for that one.
Yeah, that sounds great. So I think what we got on the books is kind of like a defensive handgun primer, which is going to be like an hour-ish workshop. And then if we're still to go, we're going to do a handgun class immediately following the event. So it's
yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So we'll do the handgun class Monday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And just so y'all guys know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is Mountain Readiness, of course. We're going to have same deal. We've got live bands. We're going to have hands-on chicken processing. We've got, I think Joe said they had some elk that we're going to break down. Saturday, we're going to have a big old meal for everybody. We've got live music, going to have raffles, giveaways. We've got the range. The Monday following, so we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, the 27th, you're going to be doing a pistol class. What does that consist of?
Yeah, so defensive handgun, our level 1, is essentially it's all the fundamentals that really bring people up to speed in being a safe and effective handgun owner but it's for defensive gunfighting purposes, right? So it's not like an NRA basics where you have to sit through all the boredom and not take much away. We do things quick, fast, and in a hurry when we get people up to speed, because at the end of the day, we actually do a FBI qualification. So we do a 50-round qual, and that isn't necessarily with the intent that the newbie who's never picked up a gun is going to pass, but at least they'll know where they stand, and they understand that it's going to be a balance between speed and accuracy, and where do they need to put the majority of their training into. Is it going to be the speed? Is it going to be the accuracy? Is it going to be weapon manipulation? Is it going to be movement? What is it that they really need to work out the kinks? So we usually structure some kind of a test at the end of the day so people have a good standard. And the next time they come back, or if they want to take that standard home, they can actually track. They have a good metric for their progress and growth, right? So, so it's a lot of fundamentals, good deep dive on stance, grip, trigger control, the eyes, the vision, weapon manipulation. We're going to do some reloading, some malfunction clearing, drawn from the holster, different things that will help people like in a real way.
Awesome. Now we're going to, and guys, if you're going and you want to take this class, it will be up on my website. You can go to, is it already on the ARC website or no? You just have it.
I got to check. ARC training.
Yeah, I have not. I've got to get with the computer people and have the add-on classes added to the site. I've got to get with her this week to make that happen. But it will be up on the Mountain Readiness website. Of course, you'll have add-on classes.
It's on ours already. Just go to the enroll tab on the top of the menu. So yeah.
Awesome. So you can just go there for now.
Yep.
Which is going to redirect from ours anyway. So
Yep.
remember, guys, you come to these events, we have paid classes outside of that. I know War Lizard Tactical has got something going on the weekend before. There at Joe Dolio's. We've got, of course, Carl Erickson and the Tactical Rifleman team after Mountain Readiness spring for 5 days on the range here in good old Wilkes County. So just remember, make a whole week of it. Like, don't just go for a couple days. Take the whole family vacation and just do the whole week.
Heck yeah.
That's way more cooler. Let's see here. Oh, Rawson, TPC, the Rawson. If you have not seen Rawson, I cannot pronounce Rawson's last name ever. Rosov, something like that. Tactical Performance Center. Rawson is the shooter for. Oh, my mind went blank. Good grief. He does for all the competitions. The guy's made. I don't know. He has there's a callus on the back of his thumb that's about a half-inch tall.
Wasn't that Ron Avery's school before he passed?
I believe it is. Yeah, out there in, what is it, Arizona, Russ? I believe it's Arizona, or is it? I can't remember where it's at.
That's awesome.
But yeah, CZ. Yeah, he's the shooter. He's the shooter for CZ. Competition shooter for CZ, which that's my stuff there. But yeah, the guy's an amazing instructor. So Rawson is going to be in Florida February 6th through the 8th. There's another one. Remember, too, Rally Point ISR has got classes coming up next weekend. NC Scout has got multiple classes coming up in February. We got classes stacked on top of classes. I don't want to hear excuses, guys. There is no excuse for not training because there is all kinds of people that you can go hang out with that actually did this stuff for real. What was some of the other classes we talked about? We had situational awareness was one of them.
So we got an hour training on that, and then we'll also be doing one on empty hand combatives, right? So that's from the Navy SEAL doctrine, and that's it's brutally effective. The situational awareness, though, is actually from some Marine Corps programming, and so that's called combat profiling technically, but situational awareness is what people know it as. And then we'll do one more on hostage prevention. So that's going to be some of the 5 most common restraints that are used universally in kidnap scenarios, basically how to get out of them and the mindset that goes with that, some of the tools. And that's just going to kind of be like a quick test or taste tester for the day program that we have surrounding it, but just so people can kind of get their feet wet, know what that world has to offer, and if they're interested in getting more training.
Cool. Now that's great. And of course, and I'd mentioned to you as well, we got Pat Militich that will be coming. And so I'll make sure that you guys get together and do some stuff for that hand-to-hand combat, because the Croatian sensation, man, there ain't many that was as good as that guy. Still is. I'm going to tell you, he did some hand-to-hand combat classes for us this last Mountain Readiness. I'm going to tell you, that old dude can still move. Pat, if you're listening out there, I love you, brother. But you are kind of old, but you can move. The guy is fast. I'm not even joking. Pat is an awesome human being. He actually is the guy. He is part of the Soil Saviors that I was talking about at the first part of this show.
Yeah.
So he healed himself of all kinds of respiratory issues and got into the health thing really deep, him and Doc Will Spencer. And these guys put together Soil Saviors and Cell Saviors, making sure that you're putting the right stuff in your body so that you can excel in life, and they've done a phenomenal job. But yeah, we'll bring Pat out there. You guys team up. That will be an awesome class, I'm sure. So we're winding down. It's already been an hour, man, and we didn't get kicked off. They'll kick this. They'll kick this tomorrow. AI will run through this.
I apologize, man. I haven't. That's what I'm saying. They must hate you because my gun content hasn't been taken down yet. So.
Oh, it's live. It's lives. Like anything live. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because there's always somebody out there that decides to off their self or somebody else.
Gotcha.
on a live, so they flag it. The AI is always searching that stuff. It ain't nothing. It is what it is. Thanks for the informative show. Absolutely. It was great. Leave everybody, let's see, closing. If everything was stripped away, gear, weapon, environment, what's the trait that keeps you alive? Where's it at? What got you through SERE school? Like, was there a moment where you were like, I don't know if I'm going to make it?
Yeah, for sure. For me, I mean, everybody has their failure points. Everybody has their, the one thing that will get them. For me, it's water. All my buddies know that, man. Whenever I was being pounded by waves on the coast, because this boy doesn't know what the coast is like. That was definitely the hardest for me. There's different things going on, but yeah. So if I can leave you with one thing, here's the reality for survival that nobody talks about. And I'm all about survival, boy, I tell you. But on a long enough time horizon, all of us don't make it out alive, right? But our spirits are eternal. So if you were to ask the master about this, Jesus said that do not fear those who can only kill the body. Fear him who has power both after killing the body, can also throw your soul in hell. So live with that sense of fear, and you won't have to fear the one who has power over everything, because our souls, our spirits are eternal. And so that matters a whole lot more than just our bodies making it another day. You know what I'm saying?
Amen to that. We just close on that one right there, Michael. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to visiting with you in person in July, but stick around for a couple minutes. We're going to end this show, and so we can chat offline. But hey, guys, thanks for joining us out here. Great advice. Yes, it was. And you guys know the drill. Y'all stay safe, stay ready. We'll see you next Monday.
So.